Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host, Ali Gauhar. Tonight, we have a very special episode. We're going to be talking about the revival of international tennis in Pakistan. This is extremely exciting. It's great to see international sporting events happening in Pakistan. I think it's safe to say 2017 has been wonderful for Pakistani sports, and the revival of tennis in Pakistan is exciting everybody. We're going to talk about the ITF Future Tennis Tournament 2017. It's a fantastic tournament taking place in Islamabad, and we've already had the first one, and the Future 2 has been completed, and Future 3 is now in progress in Islamabad. So to talk about the ITF Future Tennis Tournament and the revival of tennis in Pakistan in great detail, I have four very special guests. I've been joined by Senator Dilawar Abbas, Patron PTF. Sir, Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.
Great to have you on. And we also have a couple of wonderful tennis players who have taken part in this tournament. Kirkin, Ergi Kirkin, Assalamu alaikum.
Hi.
Welcome
Thanks
to Pakistan.
Thank you.
And we also have Mr. Lopez Perez, a tennis player who also took part in this tournament and won, in fact. He won the final. Mr. Lopez Perez, great to have you on. Assalamu alaikum. And welcome to Pakistan. And we also have Mr. Adel Borghei, who's an international tennis referee. Adel Borghei, Assalamu alaikum. Great to have you on.
Alaikum.
And welcome
Good
to
to be in your
Pakistan.
show. Thank you very much.
Dilawar Abbas Saab, let's start with you. First of all, what have you made of this, the revival of tennis in Pakistan? Your thoughts?
I think I've been involved with Pakistan's tennis activities as a player, but not as a national ranking player, but as a club player. But I've been involved in Pakistan's tennis administration since very long. And then I was president of Pakistan Tennis Federation for 8 years.
Right.
Which ended up in 2007 or 8, most probably.
All right.
And then I became the patron of Pakistan Tennis Federation. And then I am also senior vice president of Asian Tennis Federation. And I am also member of the Constitutional Committee of International Tennis Federation. This is the first time that somebody is representing Pakistan at that level on the tennis administration affairs. The revival of tennis in Pakistan, the Davis Cup came to Pakistan after 9 years, and the Futures came after 12 years. Because last Futures, which were during my presidentship, I had 5 Futures, which had 3 men and 2 ladies Future. Right. And after that, Mr. Salim Saifullah Khan, who is now the president, he had now the Futures in Pakistan. And it is mostly because all is honorary and you have to collect money as president, and it all depends how much you can collect. And you will be astonished that people say that the money doesn't come for sports. I collected 5 crores for this complex.
Complex.
This is which is on my name.
Right.
Dilawar Abbas Complex. It was by our executive committee, they gave the name that since you have done it. So 5 crores, and now it has 11 courts. Then the changing rooms for the girls and the ladies and the gents. Then have the residence for the rooms for the juniors who come for training and stay there. So this is how my connection with tennis you can see. This was only a plot here when I took over, and then I decided I'll do one thing which should be good for tennis, and that was the construction of this complex. With this complex, you can imagine now we have international tennis matches regularly. Davis Cup is being played here. Then these Futures are being played here, which are all ITF function events.
Absolutely. Yes, we'll talk about that in greater detail. Kirkin, let me ask you, what have you made? Before we get to the tennis, what have you made of Pakistan? Do you feel safe here?
Yeah, I've been here for 10 days already, and I feel really welcomed by all the people around. The organization has been good.
What about our food? I'm sure you love our food.
It's a little bit spicy, but it's
Yeah, Turkish food isn't that spicy. Yeah, so
we Turkish people like spicy food.
yeah.
But this is more spicy.
This
But
is a little much.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
staying privately in a house, so we're cooking ourselves. But I also enjoy the food outside as well.
And what about the level of tennis and the courts that you're playing on? What do you
Courts are
think of them?
nice. I was surprised when I saw a big center court in the Dilawar Abbas complex. So that was nice to play on a nice center court. And also the level, I was positively surprised by the Pakistani players. They were much better than I expected. The level was good, and also the international level. It's a futures tournament, so there are always good and dangerous players.
Lopez, Perez, we're going to get to your victory and winning the final. But again, same question. What have you made of Pakistan?
Well, when you came for first time here, outside you hear a lot of things about maybe take care and all these things, and then first time I put the first step here, I feel everyone was really friendly with us, really helpful. Everything we need, they were there for us. So for me, I'm only 1 week here. Just today I finished my first week. And I feel really comfortable. So for me, the experience by far is more than nice.
And Kirkin mentioned that the level of tennis, particularly the Pakistani players, was a lot higher than he expected. Do you feel the same way?
Well, I knew Akil before, Akil Khan, so I expect good level here. But it's true, I was surprised with the young players, because I think they have a lot of talent, and I surprised the patience that they use for play this sport. So there is some countries they have much more facilities maybe to play the sports, and here I think they give the 100%. So yeah, I'm surprised. I think if they work well, they have good future.
Mr. Adel Borghei, your thoughts on Pakistan?
Well, I was not too far away from Pakistan and Pakistani culture, as we have a lot of common points between Iran and Pakistan. We grew up with many nice stories from Pakistan. We studied some Pakistani poems from Allama Iqbal, so I was not that far from Pakistan, and I was looking forward to come and visit this country, even though recently we had some not clear image about Pakistan. But I'm really happy, I'm really pleased I came here. And if I want to say about what has been impressed me a lot, I would say the people. You have really friendly people, they are really welcoming, they are really open, and they offer whatever they have very kindly to us, and I'm spending very happy moments here in Pakistan.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you know that we adore Iran as well. It's a beautiful country, as is of course Spain and Turkey. Dilawar Saab, you talked about the kind of work that had been done to get this going. It took a while, and now finally you're getting results. Before we get to the future and what you want to see in the future, in your opinion, sir, what more needs to be done? What can be worked on to further improve this?
I think we need some good coaches.
Right.
Yeah, because we have now the facilities, like 11 courts, then 3 courts in the Pakistan Sports Board, then 9 courts in Islamabad Club, and then 4 courts in the Gun Club. You can see that within this range how many courts are there. And now this complex at Embassy Road, which is Mr. Subhan's complex, which is known as Islamabad Tennis Complex. And so facilities are there, and perhaps more should be added at the same time. We need more coaches, and there can be coaches available from abroad, including our brotherly country of Iran and Turkey, if they are available. And that is what we need to get new youngster players, young players inducted in the Pakistan teams, like juniors teams, like teams over 16 and above, and then girls and ladies teams. As I told you earlier, that when I got 5 futures, there were 2 for the girls, ladies.
Right.
Whatever standard of Pakistan, but we must send a message that there we have the girls who are playing tennis, and still we have the girls who are playing tennis, and which should be encouraged at the same time. Along with there should be no sort of gender discrimination. And that is where I worked on, and basically, as I told you, that we need to get some foreign coaches to come to Pakistan, and in that I have told the president that we can take the advantage of my being there on the Asian Tennis Federation, from where we can get the coaches from Thailand, India, or other countries, members of the Asian country.
It's great to see that a lot of work is still being done, and you know exactly what needs to be done. Kirkin, as we mentioned, you're from Turkey. Now, while of course you were very happy with what you saw here in Pakistan, the standard of tennis was very high. You're happy with the courts, as is Lopez Perez. But what are some of the things that you noticed that we need to work on? Because I'm sure the facilities in Turkey are fantastic. So I'm sure you saw some things that still need improvement. Because of course, I mean, we can always help each other out.
Yeah, like Mr. Dilawar Abbas said, I think the complexes are there. I mean, the courts are enough. But I think one important thing that could be improved is the fitness facilities for the players.
Right.
Because to be a tennis player, you first have to be a good athlete. So to improve the fitness level will help the players improve and progress. And I don't know the coaches really, but it's important to have good coaches, to be surrounded by good people who have also experience to help you progress. Because when you're coming up and you're young, you have to have good people to help you out and to lead you.
But before I get to Lopez, you mentioned fitness level. I'd just like to know if young Pakistani tennis players are listening to us. Tell us about how you train. What are the sort of drills that you go through to remain fit, generally speaking?
Yeah, I play 3 hours of tennis a day.
3 hours every day?
Yeah, from Monday to Friday. And on a Saturday I play 1.5. And on Sunday I take a day off. And I usually practice 1.5 hours in the morning, 1.5 hours in the afternoon. Just normal basic drills, points, everything. And for fitness, I do 2 to 2.5 hours of fitness, all kinds of stuff. Running,
training in the gym, sort of.
Gym, weights, running, intervals, biking, swimming.
And you watch what you eat, I'm sure.
Yeah. My coach is really strict on that, so I have to be careful what I'm
probably
eating.
haven't had a burger in a while.
No.
Or a kebab, huh? You love that in
Yes,
Turkey, don't
that
you?
I had, but...
Kebab is okay.
Kebab is okay without too much oil, right? Yeah, we tend to put a little bit too much in there. Lopez Perez, your thoughts, because I understand the facilities in Spain are absolutely fantastic. But as you already mentioned that you were pleasantly surprised with what you saw in Pakistan. Where else can we improve?
Well, I agree that maybe it's the coaches, because I think for have a good players in one country, you need first a culture of tennis, no? So maybe Pakistan now is getting strong and the federation is making big efforts and good work, good job with the tennis, supporting tennis, but also take times. So it's not that they have now the tennis court like before. They have now young players with talent. Maybe now when they bring the coaches, there is not only one rule for practice. So there is a lot of ways for get a good to be tennis player. But first of all, for example, in Spain we are good, I think, on tennis because we have a long history of tennis. No?
Of course, it's part of your culture.
Yeah. So I think the job they are doing is is going in a good way, but needs some time also to build something. No,
Right.
so maybe when the good players now stop to play tennis, also they can start to teach the young guys, and this process can be successful.
Just out of curiosity, what impressed you the most when you landed here in Pakistan and you started playing here? Anything specific that impressed you?
Well, anything specific?
As far as tennis,
As far as tennis,
goes, yeah.
I will say also the people. I will say how they try to make you feel good, even the proximity, because normally you go to any country and you don't have this contact with, let's say, the important people from the events, like a federation, like a referees, like a tournament director. And here, when you arrive, they introduce you so fast, so they tell you the first everything you need, just tell us. So I think people, food impressed me also. It took time for me.
I'm not
days.
sure how much you can eat here though, because you are a professional athlete and our food is delicious, but it's not the healthiest.
Yeah, I mean,
But it is
I
absolutely
take care of
delicious.
my eye, but I like to try. One of the best part of play tennis is also to live the experience and try everything. No, when you travel. So all the dishes I try.
I'm curious, I mean, have the three of you, have you traveled around Islamabad? Have you been anywhere? At the restaurant, as you just mentioned, I'm sure you've been to some restaurants. What have you thought of Islamabad?
Well, 2 days ago I went with one friend, Sadan, from the organization, and he showed me, and I was walking in the night in Islamabad, and I took a brownie in the mountain. It was really nice. It's a nice capital, like nice city.
Last Sunday, our friends from the Turkish embassy took us to the Islamabad club for lunch. It was an open buffet, so they had all kinds of different dishes, and it was really nice weather. It was like a picnic area, so I tried many stuff, the paratas.
How was that?
I like that. We have something similar in Turkey, but here it's really special. I think spicy chicken, fish, and also the desserts.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the food. Adel Borghei, I was asking them about, you were listening about the level of tennis in Pakistan, how it surprised them, but of course, things can be improved. Certain things that you noticed that Pakistan can work on.
First of all, I would like to congratulate the Pakistan Tennis Federation, Mr. Salim Saifullah, and also Senator, for a great job they did to fulfill the criteria which is expected by ITF to bring the international tennis events after 10 years. I'm sure this big step forward opens more gates for Pakistani players. This is really good movement which can help a lot for tennis improvement in Pakistan. I'm sure they are aware of having a very comprehensive development schedule, development plan. I mean, all these things they mentioned, these gentlemen and also Senator, they are very important, and they can be more effective once they go into a very comprehensive plan. They categorize all the items which is necessary for tennis improvement, including tournaments, coaches, tennis for young players, everything, and then they can work on all these aspects, and then definitely they can have good targets. They can find a good role model, check one of the countries which went through this way, you know, and then I'm sure if they create the right pathway with all these people, strong people, they are supporting the tennis in Pakistan, and young and talented kids you have here, I'm sure you can have very bright future in Pakistan.
Dilawar, Abbas, there's no doubt that this is a tremendous leap forward. Not only is it improving Pakistani tennis, but it's promoting the soft image of Pakistan. I mean, there's so many international players here taking part in this tournament. And as I said in my introduction, 2017 has been a great year for Pakistani sport in general. But I'm sure you also understand that it's important that we continuously and aggressively project this, especially through social media, not just newspapers and television. Yes, that's there, that'll always be there, but it's important that we aggressively get this message across that this fabulous tournament is happening in Pakistan. There are all these foreign players here taking part, and they're extremely happy, and most importantly, they feel safe.
I think you have hit the nail that this projection is very important, and not through only the Pakistan TV or radio or newspaper. Over and above that, the social media. And I'm sure if these youngsters who are playing here, they must be sending some sort of pictures or photographs or some news about their stay in Pakistan, back home, to their friends. And that is what is basically is the requirement. And after like 12 years, when the Futures and these Davis Cup have come back to Pakistan, it is the high time that we should make a greater projection of all these events, because these are the international events and international players are participating, and tennis has come back after such a long time. Mean losing so many years is also badly and negatively affects our future generation of players who are coming up, because they don't get the opportunity then to play against the foreign players. And yesterday I went to the other club to watch a doubles match of Pakistani player versus, I think, you were playing yesterday in the doubles?
No, not me. I was
Okay.
practicing maybe.
Yeah. So I saw those two play, but that is where the opportunity, because I had not seen this Pakistani youngster hitting that hard. So I was very happy. I asked, because he not playing neither in our complex nor he is playing in Islamabad club, but he plays in somewhere.
Right.
But the youngster was really a good hard hitter. So that mean I being now only in the management or administration of tennis, definitely it gives me lots of satisfaction if I see a new player on the scene coming up and playing against the foreign players. The more we will now invite the foreign teams or foreign players, one way or the other, not necessarily through the future, but through your good contacts. Like if I have a contact with Iranian players or Iranian tennis management team, I can invite them, Turkish or Spain or Russia, because we have to get the players. It is not like cricket. Cricket
Right.
is like 11 players team, and tennis is one man, 1-to-1. When you are playing single, it's 1-to-1, and double is maximum 2, 2 and 2, 4.
Right.
That is the maximum. But from picking up the players in that small quantity of the bouquet available to you for picking up the like flowers and youngsters out of those, have to be a big one.
Right.
So that is my desire as far as the tennis, that we should have. Now we have the courts, and the parents should get themselves, and tennis is such a, the involvement of parents is very important. He is here living with the family, his auntie is working in
Kirkin,
Turkish. So this is the involvement of the family as well. And as our Pakistani player, Isamul Haq Qureshi, he has reached the international level because his mother and father have been totally involved, and he comes from a tennis family.
Absolutely.
His grandfather was a all India champion.
Right.
So I think it is the high time that our parents in this country must look at not only that education for the purposes of they are studying and trying to get a job somewhere here or there, but with the study they must get involved in the sports.
No, it's very important,
Yeah,
and I think we
because-
yeah, please complete
Yeah.
your thought.
Because that sports teach you and make you a gentleman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is what I feel.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. And I think it's also important to mention that Akil and Shehzad also won, and then they're the first Pakistani pair to
double.
win.
Double.
To win this tournament. And that's a fantastic achievement. And Akil Khan, I mean, when I was growing up, I mean, I remember Akil Khan, and he's been toiling away for many, many years, and he's a fantastic player. And both him and Shehzad deserve this. And Senator Dilawar Abbas was talking about. It's not just about the federation doing their bit. It's also about families getting involved, supporting their child to pursue their passion. I mean, tell us a little bit about that, Kirkin. I mean, were you encouraged by your family to play tennis? Were you given all the support that you needed to pursue your dream?
Yeah, first starting tennis, it's you and your family who's helping you, and I'm here this tournament with my mom. And she's traveled with me a lot. My dad also is traveling, and they've always tried to give me the best possible chance to do well. And they just want to provide the best opportunities to give me a chance to do well. And I think that's really important that the family is involved, but involved positively, like not putting too much pressure at a young age, just trying to make a good development and not to be really into making results at an early age, but to progress. And if you give your chance a good opportunity, and if you're training well, the time will come one day.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, where do you see yourself going in tennis? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I mean, I have short-term goals, but also long-term.
Right.
I mean, my first goal is to enter the top 200. I'm far from that because I'm 18 years old, so I just started to play the pros. But my dream is to be a top 10 player one day.
You're 18 years old?
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. And, well, you're doing very well. I understand that you played Lopez Perez as well.
Yes.
And although he beat you, I'm sure you gave him a tough time. Lopez Perez just started, again, I asked him about his journey. What was your journey like getting into tennis? Was it a smooth ride, or were there bumps along the way?
Well, for me it was maybe different. Like normally they came from family, they start really young players. Me, I didn't. When I was younger, my family never put me pressure on tennis. Just first study and do normal life with my friends, my village. But then one point, I was lucky, and I meet my actual coach for all my life, and he started to work with me, and soon the results were coming. Practicing hard, of course, and step by step, I was growing up.
Right, and as I said earlier in the show, you won the tournament, you won the singles final. Tell us about that. That you must be very, very satisfied with your performance.
Yes, of course. Even you come and you play for win, but when you do it, of course, you feel much better. But well, it was a tough week. Have good opponents, especially he's the youngest player in the tournament, the draw, and he was tough match. For sure, he have in few years.
So there's potential there, huh?
I trust he can make his goals, and we will have more fights for sure. But all the week I was playing good, so I'm happy, of course.
Who's your favorite tennis player, Kirkin?
I like Roger Federer.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Probably all the young guys like him. I mean, everybody looks up to him.
Lopez?
Me,
Are you going to say Nadal?
No, I will say David Ferrer.
David Ferreira?
Yeah, I think he's really humble, and Is I think Federer and Nadal, they play another league. They are special guys from the sport, like Ronaldo, Messi in soccer, you can say.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ferrer is more human, more like us, but he got the excellence. So I will say him.
Adel, tell us a little bit about the tennis culture, what the tennis culture is like in Iran, as the Dilawar Abbas Saab was saying, that it's important that families encourage young kids to get into tennis, or even refereeing if that's what they want to do. I know plenty of cricket is the most popular sport here. I know plenty of people who don't want to play cricket but they want to get into umpiring. So I'm just wondering, what's it like in Iran? Do they encourage their boys and girls to play sports and make it a career?
Well, I would say in Iran also tennis is not the number one sport, but last couple of years our federation has been done a good job in terms of expanding tennis around the country. We used to have good tennis history a long time ago, but there was a gap also, and then we started again. We are in the right way. We are trying to take the tennis into families, and they showed a lot of interest. I mean, they like to send the kids to play tennis. It's a popular sport, even though it's not the number one sport. But we had good steps. I mean, some young kids, they started to play tennis. They are coming up, and we are hoping to have better tennis maybe one day, like Spain, or that can be a good target, but still we are far behind. It's not like.
What are the but again, what are the facilities sort of like in Iran? The tennis
Well,
facility, is it similar to Pakistan?
We have, if I want to compare, we have outstanding tennis facilities from from the past. And we have a few very big clubs in Tehran, like the Engelab complex in the center of Tehran. I'm not sure if Senator visited that club. We have 40 tennis courts there, which has like 7 stadiums. We used to have a very big tournament a long time ago. That time the prize money was bigger than Wimbledon, like 40 years ago. And we had players, they were champion of Asia. But then we had a gap. And for that, we are trying to build up again the tennis in Iran. Facilities there, we have very good facility. And tennis is there in different cities. Just we need to have a good plan to take us to the top.
Right. I guess, you talked about some of the goals that the Pakistani Tennis Federation is seeking to achieve. But in your opinion, sir, where do you see Pakistani tennis going in the next 5 years? Where do you want it to be in the next 5 years?
I would like to see our boys playing more and more in the futures, in challengers, at that level.
Yeah.
And if they'll achieve that sort of level, then they will be getting the ITF ranking. And ITF ranking is something which is the basic criteria of the country's tennis level. So I would like to see Pakistani boys at that level where they are in ITF ranking. And presently we have only one player in ITF ranking, and now that is also in the doubles, Islam.
Yeah.
Remaining are, I think, the present crop, which is including of Akil Khan and Shehzad. Shehzad is slightly younger as far as the age is concerned, but Shehzad has made a very good comeback. I have been watching him now. He is playing very good tennis. In doubles, he was fantastic. His service got better. Yesterday I asked his brother, who is his coach, I said, what you have done with this younger brother? He said, more work and more hard work on him. So that is where we would like to get our boys playing more tennis which is serious, rather than taking it as a casual, as a game. No, tennis has to be taken seriously if we need to reach somewhere at the levels of the International Tennis Federation.
Just to pick up on this a little bit, for the lay person that's watching, and I know you've already touched upon it, but I'd like you to expound. A lot of people, and this is just not tennis. I mean, a lot of people talk about the fact that Pakistani players, you know, whether it's tennis or squash or badminton, whichever, they don't get enough exposure. So someone like you who's at the helm, and Salim Saifullah Saab, and I'm sure you have an entire team, how do you go about giving a player more exposure? Yes, there are tournaments like this that are taking place in Islamabad. What more needs to be done? What goals do you set yourself to help out these young tennis players to play international?
Yeah,
to play
they have to
international
be
players?
sent out on the international scene for playing matches
Right.
outside. That is a greater requirement, because our players unfortunately don't have that sort of resources. And as I said, federation is all honorary, and all how much money you can collect. As I told you that I had one aim and objective. This land was there with Pakistan Tennis Federation. And I said I must make a good facility here. And first round of the facility was completed with these tennis courts, changing rooms, with showers, etc., etc. The second was to add the swimming pool and the gym for the players. And during my tenure, after raising that sort of money, creating this was which I could create and do something for the generations to come and take a lead from there. And now Khan Saab is thinking, Salim Khan is putting up, completing, adding 4 more synthetic courts, which was
Right.
actually my plan, and then to put this swimming pool and the gym,
Right.
which is very important for the players, that they should get the same all facility at that place where they are playing.
Right.
So that is what I would love to see coming up, and then the more parents to encourage their children, because it's tennis is definitely a different game from cricket and hockey.
No doubt about that,
Yeah.
yes. We were talking about exposure here. We've only got a few minutes remaining, but this will be interesting to know. You're only 18 years old, Kirkin, and you're here in Pakistan playing a number of players. So although you lost to Lopez, I'm sure you learned a lot from it. I mean, having this kind of getting this kind of international exposure.
Yeah, I've played a lot of tournaments, and it's important to go outside. And I was lucky that I started traveling when I was 11, 12 years old, to first under 12 international tournaments, to 14s, 16s, and then the juniors. Now I start in the futures, and he's a good player, so it's really, it's not good to lose, but from every loss you learn, and it's good to play against players at his level to see where your game matches up and see what they're doing well and see what you can improve on. And it's also the better players you play with, the more you improve, and also the better players you practice with. It also helps you a lot.
Right. Well, the third part is coming up. The third future, it's taking place right here in Islamabad, and it's in progress. Enrique, Lopez, your thoughts on it? What are we going to see in this third round?
Well, I think we want to see again good tennis, because are the almost same players, and I think it will be a nice week for people who want to watch there.
Looking to win that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The atmosphere can be nice, and let's see. What I hope is going in the same way than the second one for me, but let's see.
Adel Borghei, final thought. On the last future, the third future that's taking place here in Islamabad. It's currently in progress. Better tennis?
Well, I would say level of tennis is the same, but level of organization is improving.
Right.
Because the experience is getting better and better. Like if I want to give you an example, I would say the ceremony which they had yesterday for the second week, you cannot compare it with what they had for the first week. It was outstanding, the efforts which they put for the ceremony. And they learned it from the experience of first week. Now we are in the third week, and I'm sure from what we learn, all of us, we can have better tournament, better tennis, and from this place I would like to invite everybody to come and enjoy the tennis. It's a good opportunity. Don't miss it. Come and enjoy tennis.
Thank you very much for that, and it's great to hear that it's getting better and better. We're going to leave it at that. Dilawar Abbas Sahab, thank you very much for coming on. Congratulations. You've done a wonderful job. You and your team have done great work. Kirkin, Ergi, Enrique, Lopez, Perez, Adel Borghei, thank you very much for coming on the show, and thank you for coming to Pakistan. And I hope you can come back again.
Thanks for having us.
That's all we have time for. Keep watching Sports Extra on PTV World. See you next time. Bye-bye.